Obama's talking to CBS, and they're going to ask him about all of the people that are worked up and what he thinks. And Obama throws a little dig at Glnn Bck and Rush Limbaugh. So let's watch that. Clip number 1.
I've been spending time out and about, listening to talk radio.
Right.
The kindest of terms you're sometimes referred to out in America is a socialist. The worst of which I've heard is called a Nazi. Are you aware of the level of enmity that crosses the airwaves and that people have made part of their daily conversation about you?
Well, I mean, I think that when you listen to Rush Limbaugh or Glnn Beck,
It's beyond that.
it's pretty apparent, and it's troublesome. But keep in mind that there have been periods in American history where this kind of vitriol comes out. It happens often when you've got an economy that is making people more anxious and people are feeling as if there's a lot of change that needs to take place. But that's not the vast majority of Americans. I think the vast majority of Americans know that we're trying hard, that I want what's best for the country. They may disagree with me on certain policy issues. There are a huge number of people who agree with me strongly. And, I didn't buy all the hype right after inauguration where everybody was only saying nice things about me, and I don't get too worried when things aren't going as well, because I know that over time these things turn.
That's nice and level-headed. And, I don't want to nitpick. He said, it's a little troublesome. I would have used stronger language, but I just got on him a second ago for using too strong language, right? But he called it out for what it is, and he named Beck and Limbaugh as people spreading vitriol. That's a good thing. And overall, I think people look at that and think, yeah, he's a good guy, et cetera. But I guess just because as I look at it, I always want to tell you what I would have said or what I wish he would have said, right? And I don't want you to take it as overly criticizing him, because that was fine. There was nothing terribly wrong with that discussion or answer. It's just I wish he would have been a little bit more clear on why it's absurd to call him socialist. Obviously can't get into why it's absurd to call him a Nazi. That's obvious, right? You would think to most people, right? But say, look, here's our programs. We didn't even do a public option in healthcare. It is completely private-based. And so what they're doing is they're simply making words up to throw at me, and they're doing it for a political reason. Like, I wanted them to speak to the audience a little bit more and say, don't let them fool you. Okay, they're doing this for this reason, and you see how it has no basis in fact. Because Obama's words have a lot of power. This clip was sent everywhere simply because Obama mentioned Beck and Limbaugh. And so he was taking them on. I mean, as you saw, it wasn't much of taking them on, right? But if he really took them on and explained why it's absurd to call him socialist, I mean, people on the left think he's nowhere near the left, let alone as socialist. That's not within the realm of imagination, given what Obama's done so far. If he did that, if he used his pulpit a little bit for that, I think he can do a great job in combating the nonsense that's out there with real facts and get a lot of good stories written about that. So I wish he'd have taken that opportunity a little more. So nothing terribly wrong was said there. I just wish he said something a little more and a little more forcefully. So, but these days I'm feeling like the great nitpicker. I don't know.